Hey, what's going on? Because I can hear an echo. You hear that echo? Sound check, sound check. Can you turn it down? That's it right there. Well, hello, Troy. Listen, Troy, I'm about to call you Troy. I just left for Troy. How you doing, Trell? Good evening, everybody. Yes, it is good. That's good. Well, we are so excited. Yes, we want the world to know who Trell Maurice is. Somebody said Trell looks so handsome. Trell is always a nice, handsome young man. So let's tell you guys what's going on. I'm Crystal Bodie Smith, and we have a platform. And what we normally do is we call it story time. And ordinary people who have stories. Every one of us have a story. And on my platform, they get the chance to tell us their story about who they are, where they come from, what they stand for, and we just dive into a little bit about the human being that we all know and that we engage with on these social media platforms. And today we're doing Trell Maurice. I don't know why I'm trying to call you Troy for some reason, but we're doing Trell. We all know this young man. And Trell, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out to allow us to get to know you and to find out more about the man, Trell Maurice. Now, some people don't know you, so tell us a little bit about who is Trell, where you're from, uh, and just tell us a little bit about your background. Wow. Hold on, because the live just ended, Trell. Hold on, the live ended. I might have to bring that back on. So let me get my volume up here because I don't know what just happened with the live. Can you hear me? Okay, you're muted.
I
Unmute
can hear
yourself.
you on StreamYard. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what just happened uh over there. I don't know what just happened. So IG is tripping, so I'm glad that we were over here. So I'm going to post and put a post up and tell folks to come over here. See what I'm saying about IG? IG be acting crazy sometimes,
It's all good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Trell.
Patience is a virtue. I'm 36 years old. I'm a military brat. I grew up. My dad, he was in the Air Force since I was born. He retired when I was about 14 years old. I got three siblings, one older brother and twin sisters that are 6 years younger than me. And my older brother, he ended up joining the Air Force. I followed kind of the family footsteps, if you will. So my grandfather, my dad, and my brother were all Air Force, and one of my uncles. And I just followed the footsteps. And I've been in the Air Force for like 18 years. But growing up, I lived in like Texas, Virginia, Turkey for 2 years, Ishmael, Turkey. That's why I actually started school abroad, right? And then I ended up going to Tampa, Florida from like age 6 to 14. And then I moved to Melbourne, Florida, and then I joined the Air Force myself. Been in for 18 years. So primarily Tampa, Florida. That's where my heart is. All of my family, extended family, is from Baltimore, Maryland. So I still got, a special place in my heart for B-more as well. So, yeah, there we go.
Wow. So the military. Okay, so now we're gonna try this again. So I'm gonna turn the volume down so we can hear you. So the military, a lot of people may not understand the different branches of the military and what each one does. And so I am so happy that I'm over here on this one because as you can see, I'm frozen over here on the live. I don't know if you see me, but I'm frozen on IG. So I'm gonna tell the people to join us over here because I'm gonna disconnect this one because IG is tripping today. Just tell them to go to APW Shout Crystal. APW Shout Crystal. They need to go to YouTube to APW Shout Crystal. And in the meantime, while we're doing that, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we are so excited. If you haven't already followed me at APW Shout Crystal, you want to make sure you do that because we have some amazing people that we have been interviewing and we have them in our social media platforms. Sometimes they really act up. And so I'm just glad that we have this at the backup. So we are letting people know where we are right now. And we want people to know that that's where we are because this is really tripping right now over here. So Trell, married, single, tell us about your the man Trell, because a lot of people, you saw what they wrote comments, oh, he looks nice. They be like, they be ooh and ah when they see Trell. So is Trell single and available?
I am all of the above. Hold on.
Nice,
The
nice.
APW Shout Crystal
Uh-huh.
on
Uh-huh.
YouTube.
Yeah. So I'll leave that there so they can kind of see that. But before,
Okay. Yes,
that's
to
why
answer that question, thank you for the question. Yeah, I'm single. Yeah, I was married for 7 years, been divorced for 3 years now, and I just been taking the time to one heal, fully healed. I accept what happened. Life was good. I actually filed for divorce, but her and I we get along well, especially for the kids' sake. We co-parent very well, so I'm proud of that. Um, yeah, took that time, which I think is very important for people when they get a divorce or they have like a substantial loss and loss of a relationship, if you will. So did that, purchased a home, and now and relocated. So now I'm in the DMV. I'm in DC area, and I've relocated. Feel good. I got my kids out here as well. Their mothers out here are also not too far away, so we can co-parent well there. I mean, now I'm at the point where okay, hey, I'm open a little bit more. Before I was a little, I had fun, I entertained and enjoyed the company of people, but Um, yeah, that's a long-winded way of saying your boy is single out here in these streets.
okay, well, good. So now let me ask you something. Military benefits. I heard you say you bought a home and you did all those things. Is that courtesy of the Air Force? Because a lot of people they always talk about they want somebody with benefits. Let's talk about that for a minute. That is that true? Is it, if you find a person who is in some form of branch of the military, then you pretty much hit the jackpot. Is that true?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say hit the job out because they're still an individual, right? Just because they're in the military doesn't mean they got, all their wits about them and what have you. They could be going through things. They could have a different upbringing. But when we talk about benefits specifically, yes, there are a good amount of benefits that come with being in the military. A ton, actually. Purchasing the home part, you get your VA loan, right? Veterans Affairs. Yeah, you get a VA loan, which is pretty low percentage. It's almost guaranteed that you're going to get the VA loan. I'm not an expert in it, but I did exercise my benefit of having a VA loan when I purchased this home here.
Excellent, excellent. What was it that made you want to go in the military? Besides the fact that your family was in military, what was it that made you want to go into the military?
Yeah, I wish I had this great answer about patriotism, nationalism, but I just knew that when I joined, right, I knew I wanted education. I've always been into it. The U.S. military transitioned from paying 75% tuition assistance for your college to 100%.
Wow.
So I knew that I was going to be able to get a college education off of the military. So then to choose the branch was the next option because I was like, I didn't want to stay in the same town. I wanted to leave because my brother had left the house and he was having a ball. I went to visit him when I was like 17 and he was having a great time, great friends, great lifestyle. There were women around him. He seemed like he was the man. He seemed like he had a nice apartment, cars, all that. I said, hey, I kind of want to live that life. He seemed like he's established and he has a good career. And he wasn't going to school at the time. Now he's super into it. But I was like, I want to go to school. I want to have something stable. And I mean, now I got 4 degrees off of the military's dime. I didn't pay
Wow.
nothing, you know what I mean? So I got my master's degree and bachelor's and like a couple of associates. So yeah,
That's amazing.
I didn't pay it down.
So you have 4 degrees, purchased a home.
Hmm.
Man, so that's amazing. And what is your role? What exactly is your role?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I mean, right now I'm a senior enlisted leader. I'm the senior like Air Force advisor, enlisted advisor in my organization. So I primarily work with the majority are civilians, right? Still under the Department of Defense, but it's an agency, and I oversee about 500 folks, but in an advisory role for the person that's running the organization, if you will. So I mean, in a nutshell, to make it easy, I don't do my original trade, which I won't go into that in the specifics of that. But now I make sure that we are organized appropriately, we are trained adequately, and we are equipped to do the job. So OT&E is basically what I do. Are we organized? Are we trained? Are we equipped to get our mission done?
Now, I heard you say something on the live we were on a couple of weeks ago when you had the hurricane a couple of weeks ago. You said
Yeah.
that you felt proud about the Air Force did. I think you talked about one of the previous disasters. So you guys
Yeah.
in help feet on the ground when the situation happened, they called on the Air Force to go in. Is that correct?
So yeah, so I in that particular role back in 2005, from 2005 to 2010, I worked with what, what we now call personal recovery, right? It used to be called combat search and rescue. So when we were to go downrange to Iraq and Afghanistan, I had both of those deployments under my belt. When we went there, if a plane got shot down or individual was separated from their unit, they would call on us. You still there? they would they will call on us to
Yeah, I'm just
okay,
spotlighting
my
you
bad.
right. I'm
I'm good.
spotlighting you right
But
now.
they will call on us to go rescue them, right? And we flew HH-60G Pavehawk helicopters. I didn't fly on them. I was back shop to ensure that they got to the rescue location appropriately. They had the right equipment, and they knew who might be if there was any adversary in the area that might have ill will towards them and try to shoot them down, if you will. But and domestically, we were activated during Hurricane Katrina because we had such expertise in rescuing folks. We did it under fire in Iraq and Afghanistan. So when Hurricane Katrina happened, it's like, okay, let's use our military helicopters over the homeland to rescue people because they could rappel down, they could hover over buildings, rappel down, grab individuals,
Yes.
hoist them back up into the helicopter, and we can carry on, take them to a safe place. So we did that, and we ended up
Wow.
as a rescue community during Hurricane Katrina and Rita combined, because they were virtually back to back. We ended up rescuing 2,306 lives. Yeah, it
So,
was a lot.
Trell, for those people who may not understand, are there different roles? Like when they call the Air Force or they call the Marines or they call the Army, does everybody have a different role when these emergencies happen?
Well, in wartime, we definitely all have a different role. You look at the different domains out there. You have water, you have land, you have air, you have space, you have cyber, right? So each branch kind of carries out a mission within that domain, right? So over the water, obviously, well, not obviously, I hate to use that term, but over the water, you got the Navy, you have the Marines that are out there going to land via water and such, right? Or taking handling business over the water. I mean, most of the world is water. So if you have the strongest Navy in the world, you pretty much have power, right? So the Navy plays a significant role. All right, the Army, that's the land. If you want to go into a wartime, you need to seize land. That's where the Army comes into play, right? The Marines operating on land as well. And then if you want to get superiority, like when we went into Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom, we went in, we had air supremacy, air superiority within 24 hours. We went over there, we bombed all their airfields. They couldn't do anything within 24 hours. If nobody's flying, the people on the ground are not threatened by bombs being dropped on them, right? So the Air Force, we come through, we take care of business. No one else is flying, therefore our people can operate over the ground. They don't got to worry about anybody overhead shooting at them. And then
Wow.
now we got the Space Force, and Space Forces, they doing their thing.
And I appreciate that because I'm helping to educate some people on some things. So, if individuals wanted to choose between each branch, what would you say is the best way for someone to decide whether they think they would be better at either branch, the Air Force, the Marines, or the Army?
I would say do research first on the particular branches. Once you have an understanding of their role, and then if you can, reach out to someone who may be in a branch or one of each. And then look at your natural skills, your natural talents. Let's say you're in high school or you're older and you enjoy coding, you know what I mean, or hacking. You're into that when you're young. Like, okay, you have some cyber skill sets. So what branch primarily has cyber hackers, if you will, if that's a thing? And then they could look into that role. But I think all branches have that. But if it's one of the things where, hey, I'm super into shape, I want to kick down doors and kill the bad guys, then you're going to want to be in the Marines. You're going to want to be a Navy SEAL, some type of combat driven job, right? You're into bombs. You want to like disable bombs and stuff like that. Almost every branch has explosive ordnance, but you want to go into the Army. So it depends on what you want to do, like what your talents are, what you're into. But as far as quality of life, let's say you're open to everything, and I'm biased, of course. I feel like the Air Force has
Wow.
quality of life.
I did put a post up, and I copied you. If you want to look at it, look in your box. But I let them know that we're live over here, so you can post it. I posted it on my page. If you want
Okay.
to post it on yours, because the IG is tripping. So I'm just glad. I'm so glad I already had this set up because I don't know what Instagram is doing these days. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Instagram, you want to follow Trell Maurice. You see his name there. He has an amazing community on Instagram. You know, on these social media platforms, you can have fun, you can meet people, you can have engaging conversations,
Oh yeah.
and it is really truly amazing. And Trell has created a brand for himself. He has created a community, and people look forward to this young man when he goes live. And he comes on, and he even created this music battle, which I haven't quite been able to rain yet, but it has been kind of fun. But I still have some things to do to redeem myself in the music battle. But if you see his IG
Yeah.
name at Trell_Maurice, you really want to check him out. Where did that come from, Trell? What made you decide that you wanted to go on social media and begin doing the things you're doing?
I had a good amount more free time, right? I mean, I decided now I'm not going to get a doctor's degree. You know what I mean? And then go to work, working out. I'm like, man, I got more free time than I'm used to, you know, and then like I mean when kids go to sleep or something like that, it's like, well, what am I doing? So I went on Instagram and saw people on live, and I was joining their live channels. I'm just like, man, this is interesting. Okay, and then I joined the live, and I was just talking and engaging in convo, and people were responding to the way that I was presenting info.
Yes,
And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I can go live. Let me go live and see
yes,
this. And then I went live, and then it just kept sharing and sharing. And then I was going to other people's live, and then the amount of supporters that I got or followers, it started to increase. I was like, you know what? Let me do this regularly. This I'll get amount of topics that I enjoy, and selfishly, right? I'm still in the dating scene, so I'm like, if we have dating type of topics, I can learn from other people.
right.
You know what I mean? Because we all, I mean, I like the group learnings. I don't know everything.
That's
Uh,
right.
I tell them I'm not the expert here. More times than not, when I post a highlight, it's somebody else talking. It's not even
So,
me.
so what has been your most intriguing conversation so far? And you get a lot of ladies on there too, I know. So,
Right.
is it the ladies or is it the men? Who is it that you feel like has really enlightened you on some stuff that you maybe didn't know?
Um, I mean, both. I've learned from both. I say some of the interesting things were how women think, how different the women are, depending on their age, their background, and here's some of their likes or dislikes, wants versus needs, and how it varies. And you really realize that, like, yo, we are all individuals. There are
Yep,
similarities,
yep.
but we are all individuals, and it makes it entertaining. But and then for my bros, I mean, I've learned some stuff from them as well, kind of because conversations came up that I haven't had with other men. Because it's not like we just sit around like and start talking about dating or deeper topics. Oftentimes it's a surface level convo, but unless you're in a relationship, that's where you may kind of lightly vent to your homeboy or your good friend, and you'll get that discussion. But straight up, hey, let's throw a topic. We're talking about this for a whole hour. It just doesn't happen through our daily conversation. So I've been learning from everybody. That's a long way to answer your question. But I can't say whether I learned more from men or learned more from women. I just say I just learned from everybody that comes on the screen. I'm learning something.
And I'm gonna tell you something. You even have your own merchandise. I noticed you have your merchandise, and people really support. I mean, I saw some of your pictures, and that's pretty cool. I mean, the way they are honored to wear the Trell Maurice brand. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel great because when I had the thought and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just do it. Um, I was doubtful a little bit, a little skeptical. I mean, you're like, all right, who's gonna wear? Are they really gonna wear a brand that is somewhat my name? You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
Like,
right.
who am
But hey, they
you know?
wear.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? But then we got Tommy Hilfiger, we got
Yeah,
Sean John, Eddie Bauer, Ralph Lauren. The list goes on. Steve Madden, Pierre Balmain.
there you
I
go.
mean, the list goes on and on and
Right,
on, and we are wearing their names.
that's right.
Don't even know these people. And then, but that name is still going. We shop at Walmart, which are the
Yes,
Waltons. You feel what I'm
yes,
saying? Like, come on. I mean, McConnell Douglas makes airplanes, and those are two individuals. People bank at Wells Fargo. That's two last names. So
that's
it's
right.
the things that we do on a daily basis and that we consume are name brand, like literally a name brand. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I don't know many black people that are doing that.
And it worked, and
So
it
I was
worked,
like,
and
let me
they
do it.
wear it
I
with
got Trell
pride.
Maurice. It's a brand, and when they hear it, I want them to know there's a quality, and the slogan is "Do good, stay fly." Right. So I'm always about one thing I really enjoy about being in the Air Force is they throw out doing well for your community, right? And with that, I've always been into volunteering and giving back to the community, right? Service before self. So do good. It's like, hey, if you go on trellmaurice.com and you purchase any gear, a portion of those proceeds is going to No Kid Hungry. And the brand, you know what I mean, is donating each quarter to that and to eliminate, child hunger in the US primarily, not worldwide. I just wanted to kind of start at home.
That is amazing. How you doing, Jennifer? Thank you so much. We see your smiley faces there, and
Yeah.
we definitely do appreciate you. We know that it's always good to do something and give back, and the fact
Right.
that you want to give back, that's even more powerful, and that's even more of a reason for people to want to establish a connection with you. Maybe there can be some collaborations. You have a website that people can go to if they're interested in collaborating with you.
Yeah, I mean, you can send a message through trellmaurice.com. You can send a direct link to um, my Instagram page at Trell_Maurice. I'll get that either way, or you can email Trell LLC at Outlook. Yeah,
Wow. So Jennifer said you're such a dope guy with great energy and vibes.
I
And yes,
appreciate the
yes. And that's what people
he's
think
dope
about you,
too.
Trail. Like they really do. I see the energy and the way that people feel, and you treat everybody equally. You have positivity, and when you come
Yeah,
on, it's all about positivity. And it's almost like, okay, if we're sitting at a home board, they look forward to the Trell Maurice show. It's almost like the Trell Maurice show, whether it's the music battles or the conversation, they look forward to it.
yeah,
So I want to commend you for doing that,
I
for
appreciate it.
creating that space for people.
Oh yeah, my deal is people come to social media. Like life is hard already. You come to social media, it's like an outlet. Why come to social media and it's a bunch of negative things? One, two, life is way too short to be negative all the time. It's something but I mean, things do happen. But, and I've had sad days. I mean, that's okay. But I'm all for like one, if your bad days are outweighing your good days, you need to make a change. So let's figure out the root cause of that. But and then on the flip side, I believe in emanating good vibes because if you give off or you emanate good vibes or good energy, I believe that one is going to positively affect someone, but it also that energy can bounce off of things and return. that energy can deflect off of someone and go forward, or it can just attenuate throughout time, right? So giving off good energy, I just feel like, and positive vibes is a win-win
It
situation.
is. So what are your goals? Do you have some goals on what you'd like to see happen with your shows and everything you're doing? You come on what days? Tell the people again how to follow you. They can see your name up there, but what times do you do these things that you do? And tell them what you do.
All right, so primarily it's live with Trell. I do that every Friday on Instagram. For right now, it's just on Instagram. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. I do that every Friday, and it's a variety of topics: lifestyle topics, relationship topics, dating topics. It's not constricted. It's whatever, and maybe sometimes we'll even talk about anything that's hot. Maybe it's something that you just can't avoid, and we want to discuss it, and build as a community. Why not? We'll address that as well. So yeah, again, every Friday, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on IG at Trell_Maurice. There it is, right there. Yeah, and occasionally I was doing it each Wednesday, but I might make it a little bit more sporadic. Who knows? The music battle lives. That came out organically. I was just on live one day, and we were just talking about movies first, and we just talk about old school movies, and people were like, "Oh, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen this one," and it was just like, what, it was just a fun vibe. We were just talking about movies, and then that transitioned to music, and people were naming artists and songs that others haven't heard of before. So I'm like, man. So then I was just like, hey, how about this? How about I play a song, and then we'll pick a genre. I'll play a song, you, and it was three of us on there.
Yeah.
And we went for like 2 hours.
And you
And
see what
people,
Jennifer said. She said it's always a
that's the
vibe.
vibe.
She said it's always a vibe.
Yeah,
You
she
know?
be on there. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it was organic. It came about, and I was just like, hey, let me just throw a name on it. Music battle live. And we'll just throw a day every Wednesday. So that came about. Don't hold me to the every Wednesday thing. I might make it a little bit more sporadic, but the music battles will occur.
Yeah, Shaquana said I need to come to one of your lives one day. Yeah, you do, Shaquana, because
Yeah,
it's really live. He comes on, and the music battle is really really interesting that he does,
yeah.
because you have different age of people who follow, and it's old school, new school. I like the device. Where'd you get that idea? The little thing, the spinning thing that you use, that was pretty cool.
I was just like, hey, I want to have a lot of genres, but I can't remember them on the fly. So I say, let me just sit down, create like 30 different genres. And then I'm big on no ideas original.
Hey Tamiko, how you doing? Yeah. So
no
yeah.
ideas original. So I was like, what would be cool if there was like a generator that I could just plug in genres and just hit. I said, there has to be an app for this already. So I just went on and found the generator app, and I just plugged it in, and there we go.
Yeah, and all the genres seem to be pretty interesting too, and it's amazing. And thank God for YouTube, because that's what kept me in the running, because I can't remember all of those things, So
Yeah.
I'm happy that you did that, and I still want to possibly do what I mentioned to you and Dawn when I said that earlier about the dating, and you have a lot of military men that are on your page. You have a lot of military followers, I noticed.
Yeah.
And a lot of family. So since you've been coming to social media, what do you find most intriguing about coming back? Like, a lot of people sit in front of the TV and watch Netflix, but in 2022 right now, I find a lot of people on social media. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people enjoy the Instagram vibe like they do?
Because it feels like you're outside. It feels like you're enjoying other people's worlds as well. You know what I mean? I could be sitting here, and now I'm engaging with others that are I mean, that's just that, at least for me. I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I enjoy tapping into the world.
And
right?
you see what Tamiko said. She said, hello, Trell,
Mr.
Mr. Positive.
Mr. Positive. I'll
Like,
take it, I'll take it all day. We got Kelly in here at time. So like, yeah, I what was that? I got sidetracked for a second.
they blushing, y'all. Don't blush.
Nah, what was the question? I totally forgot the question.
You know, why do you think people enjoy
Oh yeah, yeah,
Instagram like they do?
yeah.
What is it about Instagram? You know, it's not addictive, but it's interesting. People come, they engage, and you have to be careful though, because there's positive and there's negative
Right.
too out there.
And you gotta block. I am careful on like what lives and such that I go on. I'll click on a live if it seems too negative. I won't get on there. If it seems negative and I feel like, um, if I feel like that there's a opportunity for me to allow someone to see things in a different way, or maybe a positive spin, or maybe there's something I could say that could maybe unlock something else in their own mind, towards a positive way, I'll interject, or I may request to come on to the live, or I'll just say it in the comments. So ultimately, I mean, if I could be used to help people, hey, I'll do it. Why not? I've
And
met a lot more people. Now I'll say this: I also went on a dating show, to be fully transparent. I went on a dating show myself, and I ended up getting a good amount more followers. So I said, okay, how could I use this to put more positivity out there?
was that the Kendra G show? You went
Yeah.
on Kendra G? Did you? I must have missed that episode. Trell, how was that?
It was a long
Well,
time.
I was on it too. I did it too, so I can't say nothing. I went on Kendra's show probably 2020 in October. I still have the recording of that show. And I had a good experience with Kendra. How was your experience? I know she loved you.
Yeah.
I know she did. I know she loved
Cool.
you.
It was all positive. It was all good. Like there was
Yeah,
no
I had a
arguing.
good
There was
experience
nothing
too.
crazy. I'm not gonna allow anything crazy. My life isn't crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like nothing. Who knows? Maybe some people probably thought it was boring. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was
Now, what did L.A. Kelly say? She said the easy accessibility of connectivity with others is probably what people do. Shaquana says Instagram can be negative, and I don't go on everybody's live because folks can be evil in their spirits. Oh, that's
for real.
interesting. And Tamiko said facts. And Jennifer says she remembers. Oh, you saw him on the dating show.
There we go.
Nice.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So,
Yeah.
have you thought about that? That's why I said we need to do that dating thing, because I think it's really interesting. A lot more people I noticed with Kendra, because she's got 3 platforms. She's on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and like she's almost at, I think she's over 500,000. I mean, she's blowing
Yeah.
up,
Over
and
that
more
now.
and more people are coming out. There's so many people looking for love. Like
And they
my
can't all get the show, but yeah, I mean, I know there's other shows that are like it. I tried. I feel like that. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I feel like I would be good at connecting people. I would want it to be where there's a man and a woman on there at the
Well,
same.
that's what I said.
I can,
Out here, this is the platform where I was talking about coming. And what I love about this is we can have up to 10 people. So I told you the dating game concept, because I want to see that. I think that would be really interesting when we have uh, somebody interviewing 3 people, because I enjoyed that game. You remember that game? You know,
oh yeah,
so
the dating game, like those 3. Yeah, that was really good. And I like hosting. I enjoy it. I think it'll be fun.
go through it. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I would love hosting something
What
like
kind
that.
of woman? When Kendra asked you those questions, that was it. Just blinked on both of us. When Kendra asked you those questions, what did you say? What kind of woman was Trell looking for? What age range?
What I said I was looking for, um, dang, that was a long time ago. But I mean, even still now, I guess.
Okay, so let's bring
So,
it to today. Today, what kind of woman is Trell looking for?
she put me on the spot, y'all. No, just playing. I say 30, maybe a little less than 30, if she's very mature, right? But I prefer to be over 30.
What does she have to look like?
To like, you know what I mean, early to mid 40s.
What does she have to look like?
I mean, I would rather her be black. If she's not black, then I'd rather her be black and something else, like Vince. If she's not black or something else, then I'd rather her be Latin, like Latino.
Okay, Latin. Oh, look.
Probably the
Now,
farthest
does she
way.
what
Because
she
she would have to be
built?
Latin, but still inform about the black culture. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
Now,
Latina, they got flavor, but that's I would prefer again, and I would kind of go in that order. Black, if because it's all based on what's around you too, what you have access to. I can't control that, but if it's like a woman that's pretty awesome and nearby, or and she's half black, cool. I'm not going to discriminate against. I'm gonna be open to it. But
can she have children?
yeah, yeah, I almost would prefer her to have children because I have children. I have one biological child.
Okay, somebody had a question. They said this is a crazy question, Trell, but what made you want to be the not negative, looking for attention, angry black men?
What made you want to be the not negative, looking for attention, angry black man? What made me not want to be that? I just, I mean, I just grew up going to church all the time, right? Until I was 18 years old. I went to church a lot, to the point where I was like, man, I need to figure something out. I ended up learning how to play the drums. I started playing the drums in church.
Oh, sookie.
Yeah.
Got a little drummer.
I needed to do something. You know, as a teenager, you start not wanting to be there, but not realizing that you're there and you're actually ingesting some of that. You're actually internalizing some of the words that are being spoken, not knowing it. There's times things that come up and I could quote a scripture or something I heard, not even consciously doing it. You know what I mean? So for me, I think that's why I'm like, yo, I feel like I got a super solid foundation. And my parents are awesome. My parents been married for 41 years. Like,
isn't that a blessing?
Yeah.
Mine were married 49 years. My mom died. It would have been their 50th anniversary when my mom died, and they had been together 49 years. They celebrated the 40. So you're right. When you come from a home where you see that kind of love, where you see that kind of example, it gives you high expectations, you know?
Right.
And yeah, it does. So that means I think you'll be a good man. So let me see. You want her to be black? Does she have to be a certain height? Does she have to be a certain weight or built or anything like that?
Why are we doing the Kendra G show all over?
No, no. I'm just asking.
Oh, I mean, I love going to the gym. I want her to enjoy working out. I do. It ain't like she gotta be a gym rat or like she's in there all the time. But I want her to be physically, I want her to be healthy and shape. If she's a little on the thicker side, cool. Do you have a plan on making sure that you're healthy? So you go to the gym.
So you got it, guys. You see his IG, so you can go back. You probably did. Kendra highlight you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you a highlight. Ooh.
That was a long time ago. That was like
they didn't highlight me. She gave me but I highlighted myself though because I recorded it. But so you know that's what you have to do. You have to know who you are. Cause see, I mind
it twice.
You did it twice?
Yeah, because the second time she just wanted a man's perspective. This is early on. This is before it was super big, right? So she wanted a man's perspective on something, right? And I was already on there like November of 21, I think. Yeah, November 21, I was on there. And then like March of this year, I was on there again. March of this year was like, hey, let's get a man's perspective on what he just said, because some guy said that a woman cannot be a 8, 9, or 10 if she had a kid. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. Right. So I was like, yo, she was like, can I get a man's perspective? So I just hit the request button and she had me back on there. And I'm just like, yo, whatever he said, I respect his opinion, but I think it's totally false. If a woman has a child, it doesn't matter. She just has a child. She could still be super valuable and desired by a lot of men. Therefore, looks wise, personality wise, whatever, I think she could still be the cream of the crop.
Well, thank you for that. That we appreciate you standing up for us. And let me ask you this: since you said that, sometimes they say people lose their value with age. How do you feel about that? The women.
I mean, based on society, you would. Now, I'm not saying your value as a human being, your value in like the dating marketplace, maybe, but not as a human.
So you agree with the statement that you think the value in the dating marketplace goes down?
Because it's a marketplace, if you want to think of it in that way. They're like, all right, desire. Let's say desire. You see these older dudes that are with younger women. You see that. You see it all the time. Or you see older women with younger dudes.
And then and then there are some that you see that are with those that are older, because there are some that just really don't understand the value of a older woman. I
Right.
disagree with that. I
And,
think that everybody has their place and their value, but you have to know who you are. You have to know your worth.
right.
You have to be sure of yourself. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
confident. And regardless of what somebody says, you have to
Yeah.
exude that confidence. You know what I'm saying? So regardless
Absolutely.
if you're 50,
Yeah.
60, or 70, there are some 70-year-old and 60-year-old. I mean, I'll be 63 in February. I wish somebody would
You,
tell
you're
me
looking
that.
good. You're dope. You
And
feel what I'm
most
saying?
of the time, I can pull them from all ages. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? But a woman needs to understand who she is and just feel good about herself. Don't
Right.
let nobody tell you what you're not.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying that you have no value. What I'm saying is, as you, I mean, you can have a dope Bentley and a Range Rover. I'm not saying women are cars, but just to use an analogy, like you get a dope Bentley is awesome. The year it comes out, it is the most amazing thing. And then over time and overuse is going to decrease in value, right?
So that's the same with a man, though. What you're saying, it goes both ways.
Right. It's just that for a man, that I don't think that really occurs until like 60-ish, only because of what society looks at. As far we're talking generally, right? What society, not individually, but what society looks at for men oftentimes is protector and provider, right? So
Right.
when we provide, oftentimes that's of course emotionally, physically, all of that, but financially is
And
also
I want to hear what y'all have to say in the audience. You could definitely
financially
let
is
us know.
the thing.
But listen,
And
I
your
believe,
finances increase as you get older for a man.
yeah, uh, some would agree and probably, but some would disagree.
Yeah.
Have you ever been with an older woman?
My aunt's wife was 4 years older than me.
I'm talking about, have you ever been with an older woman? Like an older woman. Because if
Like,
you've been with an older woman, then your perspective about her value going down, because you might mess around and I almost be turned out.
who knows?
You
Who
talking
knows?
about the
I
value going
can't say
down,
I
honey? You
will.
better act like you know. A lot of people like, ooh, an older woman might do some things for you that a
Right.
younger woman
But
never
that's what I'm sorry to
would.
interrupt you. That's where I don't want to be misconstrued. Not saying that an older woman can't be dope and valuable. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the masses of men, if they had to pick a woman of this age, which is, there's 30 or 20 to 30 years older than this woman, and everything else being equal, dope personality, great looking, in shape, more times than not, they're going to choose the younger one because they still have time with them that they're thinking of. That's all I'm saying.
But young people are getting sick. Young people are dying young. So in today's society, I beg to differ with that, because if a young person can be unhealthy too. You understand
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So it's no guarantee that because this person is younger, they're gonna live longer. It's
Yeah.
no guarantee that this person is younger, they can perform better. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So
I,
I believe that it's all about the heart of the individual,
yeah.
and their spirit, and what they bring to the table and how they make you feel. You
Right.
understand? And the chemistry.
Yeah.
Age should be removed out of the equation. Like a
Right.
person shouldn't even, because there may be some people, they don't even look their age. You look at them, you be like, what, you how old? You don't even know how old they are.
Right. Some of the things I agree. I agree. Have you ever heard the term like, oh, they're set in their ways?
Yes.
When do you feel like, at what age do you feel like a person's set in their ways, where they're less likely to compromise on certain things?
That's a good question, because that can really vary. Now, there can be, like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. There could be some older people who don't want to change. But there could be some people younger that have ways because of a religion or a tradition, or because
Mm-hmm.
of their upbringing. So
Right.
it really can, that could be That could go.
It could go both ways. Yeah, I agree. It could go both ways. Don't kill the messenger though.
I'm
This
not.
is just
I'm
this is just what this is what I've been hearing. This is what I've been hearing from men, and I I kind of have to agree with it. I'm not going to block any type of blessing. So
no, don't do that.
if there's a woman around me and she's just dope and I enjoy my life more abundantly with her, I don't care what the age is. It is what it is.
So now let
I
me
would
ask
have
you:
to
you
see
have
if
children, right? You have a son.
I have a son. Yep.
Yeah. So do you feel as though a male parent is just as effective and can and raise a son just as good as a woman? It's no different, right? Or do you feel like because he's a boy that a father can do more for him because he's a male role model and because he's a man and he can do some things that the woman and the mother can't do?
I right. So I think both parents are absolutely crucial. I think that there's a baton as far as like importance. There may be a baton that's passed over around the middle school ages, 10 to 12 years old. I feel like that baton goes from that super nurturing necessity from the mom over to we need to start transitioning this young boy into a man. And that's where the dad's gonna come more into play. Just because the dad has experienced life as a man. And that's experience is the best teacher sometimes individually, but your experiences can help you teach another person. So I believe both are, because your nurturing years are critical. I mean, that's everything. It's where you learn that's the foundations of who you are. And your mom being that for you is amazing. Your dad being there for you is amazing. I think if we're talking a little bit more effective, I'm noticing now. My son's 8 years old. I'm noticing now. I love the fact that I just took him out earlier today. We was doing football drills practice. Women could do that too. I like when he's pounding certain things. I know when I could recognize when I need to raise my voice. He reacts to my voice being raised a lot differently than he reacts to his mom's voice.
Right, that's true.
Tone or whatever it is just a different reaction, and I just know that that is critical to raising a young man.
That's true. So that's a good point. And you know, it's a sad situation because a lot of men don't get the opportunity, especially when the families break up. The women keep the brothers from being around their children. It's we have those conversations on some lives, and that's really a sad situation. I want to say to you women out there, don't do that because they need their dad. They really do need them in their life. That's important. So, Trell, tell us something about you that the people that follow you on social media don't know about Trell. What's something they don't know about Trell?
Let's see. I mean, I've probably visited over 30 some odd countries.
Wow.
I've I've I speak 2 languages fluently.
What's the second one?
Body language.
All right now. What's the
That's
second language you speak fluently?
not body language. I was joking. It was a joke.
Oh Lord. What's the country that you visited that you loved that was the most beautiful and just really took your breath away?
Paris, France. That's just a love city. So France and
Really? What
Paris.
so if somebody goes there,
Amazing.
what would you tell them to make sure they go see when they get to France besides the normal, what everybody says?
The normals. You got to go to the Louvre. That's one of the world's, if not the world's most famous museum. That's where the Mona Lisa is, Statue of David, so on. That's pretty awesome experience. Of course, the Eiffel Tower. And then like the Love Bridge, where you got the keys and the locks and all that. It's just romantic. It's just a romantic city. So, I recommend all couples definitely make it that way. And then, as far as places to eat, you could look those up. But I'm on almost any, restaurant is going to be pretty swanky vibes.
So you like Paris. What's your second most interesting country you've been to? Have you been to Greece?
I haven't been to Greece yet.
You got to check out Santorini. Santorini to me is like.
I would love to go to Greece. Croatia was pretty cool. Croatia was interesting because I met several folks that never seen an American black man before.
Wow.
Never engaged, and I was treated like a celebrity when I went there. So that's kind of
Really?
oh
wow.
I mean, I had someone pull over like an Uber equivalent, come out, and I was just waiting for my Uber, and a young woman came out, and she was like I was President Obama or something.
Wow.
And you know what was crazy? What I'll share is, it's almost like you're treating me like I'm not even a human being.
Wow.
And you get a natural high. I never smoked marijuana before, right? So I guess that's a fun fact that people wouldn't know. I never smoked marijuana.
Wow,
before.
never smoked.
Never smoked a cigarette.
Never smoked cigarettes?
No. So I mean, I smoked hookah before though, so I mean, it ain't like I didn't do anything.
Okay.
And I smoked cigars before, but nonetheless, fun fact. But it was like a natural high, and I thought a little bit after the fact, like this must be how like artists feel when they're on stage, and people are like glorifying them almost, and they're saying their lyrics they wrote in their private place, and they're saying these things verbatim, and I'm like, I wonder if that's why they do drugs, because they can't match that high. That feeling of people that are just like enamored by your mere existence. It was a interesting experience, but nonetheless, I was there for a hip hop festival and it was amazing.
What kind of music do you like the best?
R&B, hip hop.
Do you listen to any other kind, rock, jazz, or any of those?
I mean, I enjoy them when they come on. I'm used to them being around so many different cultures in the military, where like you hear it a lot. Holiday parties, just different house gatherings I'll attend. You know what I mean?
Ever play any instrument?
I played the drums.
Other than the drums?
Not like where I'm pretty good at it. I mean, I learned a couple songs on the keyboard. And
okay. Can you sing?
I could sing, but can I sing well?
That's what I'm saying. Not in the shower. Not in the shower.
I mean, I feel like I can hold a note. You know, I got a karaoke song or two.
Okay, karaoke, but we're not gonna come see you at a show.
If I was able to sing like that, I'll already be famous, I believe.
Okay. You play any sports? You ever play any sports?
Oh yeah, I played basketball my entire upbringing.
Okay, guard. Yeah. You look like a guard.
Oh yeah, point guard all day.
Yeah, you got that geezer 3-pointer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could have played collegiate ball. At least at a community college, D2. I could have played D2. I decided to join the Air Force though. And
okay. What was your average back in school, in high school?
My average points per game or assists? I probably was like a 10-8 or 8-8.
Okay.
8 points, 8 assists, 10 points, 8 assists.
Okay.
Distributor.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. So all around kind of guy, you know. So that's good. And a people person, most definitely a people person. What does Trell want to be known for? With everything, if people stop going on Instagram and then somebody meets you and they're talking about, you know, that Trell Maurice guy, what do you want them to say about Trell Maurice?
I want them to say that I was a good person. And straight up, a good person that treated everyone like they was important. Understood everybody had a story. Humble. He understood that everybody, you know, like that everybody on this earth knows something I don't know. I can learn from anybody. That's what keeps you humble. Approachable person. You can come to me, talk to me about whatever. I'll listen, dependable. And you know, just I like the positive. People are calling this a positivity. We can run with it. It don't matter to me. But yeah, and just having it.
And what is the most valuable lesson that you learned watching your parents being together for as long as they've been together?
That love is, I mean, you gotta choose. You gotta continually choose to be with that person day in and day out. And be honest. Choose to be with the person, be honest, and communicate well. I mean, that's fine. I never heard my parents argue, yell at each other, at each other. None of that. Not to say it never happened. They just didn't allow it to happen in front of us. they probably had their disagreements. I mean, now I'm older, I could hear little disagreements, but it's nothing that gets out of hand or nothing like that, you know. But that's what I would say, man. Just respect. That just shows a level of respect. My dad's not going to call out her name and do nothing crazy. My mom's not going to do the same. She's not going to do that as well, you know. And yeah, so I just want to be seen as a good person that treats everybody well. You know, cause see the
Excellent.
positive.
I got two more questions for you as we get ready to get close to the end, because I want to respect your time. So we're getting ready to get into a season where we need to all vote and do everything now. Uh, how you feel about that right now and the way everybody participates? If there was a message you had to tell somebody out there who doesn't vote, would you have a message for them? And how strongly do you feel about that? Do you think you'll use your platform to try to help us to get out and vote?
Yeah, I mean, I got a unique situation because I've lived in several different cities, right? So voted for I mean, I could vote for my hometown, but I haven't lived there in like forever. When we're talking about local elections, right? Um, National, but regardless, for your city, if there's things in your state and your country at large, when it comes down to that, um, when if you want to see change, I mean, know what you're voting for. Look at all the things that are on the ballot. There's way more things to vote on than you could think about or whatever, and they could affect your daily life, you know, and some stuff. And pay attention, do your research. They'll probably try to sneak some things in there. But yes, I think that that is a right that we haven't always had that we should exercise. Exercise your right to vote. Um, I haven't always been the greatest with that, to be honest with you. I voted the last major elections, which was pretty cool. But yeah, get out there and vote. I think it's important. Don't complain about things if you aren't going to be a part of that solution. So, and that's voting.
Wow. And if there anything that I did not ask you about that you would like the people to know about Trail, like something you have coming up, anything big, because I know you're very creative on your platform. And once again, this is Trell Maurice. He is a young man that's serving our country, and I want to thank you for serving. I want to thank
Appreciate
you for being who you are and just contributing the way you do by coming on the lives and giving your perspective in such a positive way, very articulate, and you communicate well, and people listen, and people look forward to what you have to say. So you're well respected out in these IG streets too.
I
You
appreciate
know,
that. I
you know.
appreciate that. I would say in the distant future, right? Like I'm gonna publish a book. I'm doing
Okay.
Yeah, I've been collecting thoughts a lot lately, and people kind of been seeing it. So I guess it's a little premiere right now. I never told people, but people are seeing that on my page. I'll put a daily quote, an original quote every single day. So I
Oh,
got a plan. I got a plan with that.
now, what you been posting every day?
Every day on my story. It's just to my story. I do an original quote. So I've been doing
Okay.
it for the last 34 days. I know because there's a number that I'm reaching, and I'm happy. And
Oh, so we got a book coming out in
we got a
2023.
Yeah, yeah, 2023. There'll be a book that's coming out, and it's going to be like 100 quotes or so, but with the breakdown behind the quote, the information behind it, what inspired it, things like that. And
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just something that I want to put out into the world because we all have unique minds, so it could help someone.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it definitely could.
so,
I mean, I have one like that I did. I need to publish. I did for myself too. Everybody had the book in them. Everybody had the story.
everybody got
Everybody
to.
can do a book. You know what I'm saying? We all just have to get to a place where we find time to, want to just see it manifest. A
Yeah,
lot of times
and
people are
it's
too busy. They're too
90% of
busy.
people, 90% of people, and that's a random number. But either way, a great percentage of people will have a great idea and don't execute it.
Yes. And a lot of people take it with them. And so what we're saying to you is if that's you, don't take it with you. Act on it and make it happen. You
Yeah,
deserve that. If you're a visionary, God gave you a vision for a reason. Go ahead and put it into
yeah,
fruition.
absolutely.
Definitely. Trell, I
And
want to thank you
and the
for
more
joining.
immediate, follow me at Trell_Maurice. You'll see what's happening on Instagram.
You want to do that for sure. You got to go over there and hit him up at Trell Maurice. Hit me up at Shout Crystal. And there's some amazing people. If you are not on Instagram and some of these social media sites, there are some positive things going on. We just want to remind you, all of it is not just entertaining. You'll meet some great people. I've met some people. Have you met any of your Instagram friends yet that you didn't know, like your family Trail? Have you met any of your IG people yet?
No.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing when you
Well,
do.
yeah, not any like in our mutual friends.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you offline about that because with something coming up, you may have an opportunity. I would like to invite you to participate with your community. I think it would be a great idea
Yeah,
because there's so many things coming up where people are going to be getting together. So we look forward to it. Listen, I want to thank you so much. And I want to thank you, Tamiko, and all of those that passed through here. We truly, truly, truly do appreciate you. And
sure.
we look forward to seeing you guys on the next live that is done out here. You know, everybody, we want you to stay safe and come back and check us out. We will repost this out there. Again, I'm so glad that we had this set up because IG was just tripping today.
I
And I
know,
don't know
right?
what's going on with Instagram and why they
Yeah,
do what they do. But I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to see what's coming next. I can't wait to see the book. I can't wait to see everything that you have going on. So we definitely look forward to it. All right. So we want to say thank you guys so much.
thank you.
We look forward to the next person. If you have a story, let us know because we would like to get it out to the people and we would like to help you share that
Oh, yeah.
story out here. And send me a DM, all right?
Yeah.
And you have a blessed one. Troy, have an amazing day. And thank you so much for joining me today. Any last words that you want to leave with the people?
Hey, you can go to TrellMaurice.com, purchase some gear, and then that will help me continue to bring positivity to the world, help feed these kids. All right.
Yes, yes. Help feed the children. All right.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
catch you later. Thank you so much for coming through, and we'll see you next
All right.
time. And Trell, I see you on the next episode. And I got something for you with that music battle. I ain't done yet.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
All
Always ready.
right, y'all. See y'all later. All right. Thank you so much.